Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Verse number
12, Mataji.
Mataji, 11.
11.
4.11.
11 or 12?
11, Mataji.
4th chapter.
Yes, Mataji.
11th verse. Everyone's exam is over, no? Somebody is left, they should talk to Bindu Mataji and take another paper. That's all. Okay, 4th chapter, 11th verse. So the transcendental activities of Krishna is very wonderful and very inconceivable also. It is said even the great scholars, their scholarship proves insufficient to understand Krishna. That has been given. When Krishna is one, whether he alone acts with the modes of material nature or he gets it done, Krishna is just one. So here it is said, clear all these doubtful inquiries. Kindly clear up all these doubtful inquiries. That is what the sages are asking Suta Goswami. We want to know more about Krishna. And also, you said here in the 10th verse, clear up all these doubtful inquiries because you are not only vastly learned, but you are self-learned or self-realized also. And you are a great devotee. It's only by devotional service we can understand. And through devotees only we can understand Krishna. So here, Shaunakadi Rishis, they are asking, please clear all our doubts. Okay, 11th verse. I think somebody has to put in the group that class is started. You should join. Sutuvacha Ityupa Mantrito Ragya Guranu Kathane Hare Rishikesham Anusmrityaha Prativaktum Prachakrame Sutuvacha. So now Suta Goswami starts answering. Ityupa Mantrito Ragya Guranu Kathane Hare. Upamantritaha. That means being requested. Ragya. So the king has asked the inquiries. The king is asking to Parikshit Maharaj. And Sukadev and Saunakadi Rishi, they are also asking to Suta Goswami. The Sukadev Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy. I want to know more about Lord. So in this way, when Sukadev Goswami is inquired, what is he doing? Rishikesham Anusmrityaha. Rishikesham, the master of senses. Anusmrityaha. He properly remembered. And Prativaktum. Anusmrityaha and Prativaktum. And I started replying. Prachakrame. And he also executed the preliminaries. That means systematically he started answering. Guna Anukathani. He started describing. So when Sukadev Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the Lord, he then systematically remembered. So without remembering Krishna, how will you answer about Krishna? And he started replying properly. So here two words comes, Anu Kathane and Anu Smrityaha. This Anu word is very important. Anu word means following the footprints of the Acharyas. How to remember Krishna also, one has to learn from our Acharyas. Then only Anu Kathane happens. Anu Kathane means speak what has been heard. We just have to speak what has been heard, what has been taught. That is known as Anu Kathane. Guna Anu Kathane. It is not just Guna Kathane. It is Guna Anu Kathane. These two words have been emphasized because Sukadev Goswami speaks whatever he has heard. He has heard from Lord Shiva. when he was just a small parrot. Then even comes out of the womb, he hears from his father Vyasa. And that is how Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, which has been spoken by his father to him. So he has spoken to Parikshit Maharaj, whatever he has heard. And then he remembers again in the footprints of the Acharyas. How to remember Krishna, how to meditate upon him. That is also, it's a science actually. The science has to be taught and it has to be applied. So in this way, these two words, Anu has been given. And properly he has answered. Okay. Sanjay Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Sutta uvache iti upamantrito ragya gunanu kathane hare rishikesham anusmritya pratifaktum prachakrame. Sutta Goswami said, when Sukadeva Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead, he then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly, he spoke thus. Purport. The devotees of the Lord, while delivering speeches and describing the transcendental attributes of the Lord, do not think that they can do anything independently. They think that they can speak only what they are induced to speak by the Supreme Lord, the master of the senses. The senses of the individual being are not his own. The devotee knows that such senses belong to the Supreme Lord and that they can be properly used when they are employed for the service of the Lord. The senses are instruments and elements are ingredients, all endowed by the Lord. Therefore, whatever an individual can do, speak, see, etc., is under the direction of the Lord only. The Bhagavad Gita 15.15 confirms this. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam che. No one is free to act freely and independently. And as such, one should always seek the permission of the Lord to act or eat or speak. And by the blessings of the Lord, everything done by a devotee is beyond the principles of the four defects typical of the conditioned soul. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sutta Goswami is saying what Shukadeva Goswami answered. So now next verse is Shri Shukha Vacha. Shri Shukha Vacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase Sat Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leelaya Gruhita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavaya Nupalakshya Vartmane. Shri Shukha Vacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase Sat Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leelaya Gruhita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavaya Nupalakshya Vartmane. Namaha Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase. Namaha, offering obeisances. A previous verse also, Sutta Goswami says, Sukadeva Goswami first offered obeisances, remembered Lord, and then started replying. So the knowledge comes from Lord. Mataha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That is what is given in the previous purport. It is Krishna who gives the knowledge. Even to answer about Krishna or to describe Krishna's activity, it is only by Krishna's anugraha we can do. Krishna gives knowledge, Krishna gives forgetfulness. Mataha smritir jnanam apohanam. Krishna gives a remembrance. So here it is said, remembering Lord, paying obeisances to Lord. Parasmahi Purushaya Bhavaye, Bhuyase, the complete whole. Sad Udbhava Sthana Nirodha. Started describing about the creation, maintenance, Sarga, Visarga, both comes in the creation. Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, that is maintenance, Nirodha, how to wind up everything. Leelaya, the past tense of the Lord, Grihitaha, Shaktihi, Tritayaya. So in this way, accepted the power, three modes of material nature, Tritayaya, Dehinam, the material bodies have taken the living entities have possessed the material bodies according to the three modes of material nature. Then antaha bhavaya, in this way he resides in everyone's heart. Anupalakshayehe is an inconceivable vartamane. I'm just reading word to word, then we'll come to the translation. Because as a Bhakti Vaibhav students, now we should not see the translation. Let us see how we can try to make the sentences. So in this way, is trying to describe now Sukadeva Goswami is describing about the creation of this material world and how this creation happens because of accepting the three modes of material nature. Lord is complete whole. Lord is residing in everyone's heart. So here it is said, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, he writes the translation. Sukadeva Goswami says, I offer my respects to the Supreme Person, whose powerful incarnation expansion is Mahavishnu, performing pastimes of creation, maintenance, destruction of the universe, through accepting the three gunas, whose second and third expansions act as inner soul of universe, and the jivas, and who can be realized by the path of bhakti, but cannot be realized by other paths. Okay, Vrindavan Lila Mataji read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Haribol Gandhi Prabhu.
Shri Shuka Uvacha. Namah Parasmai Purushasya Bhuyase Sat Udbhavasthana Nirodha Leelaya Grahita Shakti Trayaya Dehinam Antarbhavaya Nupalakshay Vartamane. Shukadeva Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who for the creation of the material world accepts the three modes of nature. He is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable. This material world is a manifestation of the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And the Supreme Lord for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world accepts three predominating forms as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankara, Shiva. As Vishnu, he enters into everybody materially created. As Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he enters into every universe. And as Shirodakshai Vishnu, he enters into the body of every living being. Lord Shri Krishna, being the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas, is addressed here as Paraha Puman or Purushottama, as described in the Bhagavad Gita 15.18. He is the complete whole. The Purushavataras are therefore his plenary expansions. Bhakti Yoga is the only process by which one can become competent to know him. Because the empiric philosophers and mystic yogis cannot conceive of the personality of Godhead, he is called Anupalakshaye Vartamane, the Lord of the inconceivable way, or Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Anupalakshaye Vartamane. He is very, very difficult to be attained. At the same time, very difficult to be understood. Only by Bhakti Yoga we can understand Krishna. Without Bhakti, it is impossible. So there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita you have to search out. Only by Bhakti a person can understand Krishna. Which is that verse? Search out and put in the group. Bhuyo
Bhaktya
namas
naam abhijanati.
yavanischa svikatataha. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. So then another verse also is there. Try to find out. Only by Bhakti you can know Krishna. Bhuyo namasa vrjina chitte satam. Asambhavaya kilasatvamutaye pumsam punha paramahansya ashrame vyavasthitanam anumrugyadashuse bhuyo namah sat vrijinachide satam asambhavaya khila sattva-murtaye pumsam punha paramahamsya ashrame vyavasthitanam anumrugya dashushe. Bhuya again I offer my obeisances. Now to the devotees of the Lord, I offer to you, again I offer to you. Now here, obeisances to Lord, who is a protector of the devotees. That is actually the meaning. He's offering now, Sukadeva Goswami is offering the obeisances to Lord. In the previous verse, what was there? There is a first verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, first canto, first verse. Because the creation, everything Krishna does. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasujanmadhyasya Ton Vyadi Tarta, you say. That has been given in the 12th verse. In 13th verse, I pay obeisances to Lord, who is a protector of the devotees. You see the second verse of first canto, first chapter. What is the second verse of first canto, first chapter? Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam. Vedyam vastamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute kimva parivishvara. Sadhya ruddha varuddhate prakutibihi shushushudit takshanam. So this is the literature of devotees. That means Bhagavatam has evolved for the devotees, so that they can bind Krishna within the heart. That means Krishna is the protector of the devotee. So you can think that how here Lord is glorified, that he removes the distress of the devotees. And then Chidde Asatam, he gives liberation to the lemons. By killing the lemons, he is liberating the lemons. And then Asambhavaya Akhilaha Sattvaha. Asambhavaya is for the demons. He has cessation of their further unhappiness. He has killed them. Akhila Sattva Murti. He is the form of Shuddha Sattva. Akhila Sattva Murti. Pumsam Punaha Paramhamsai. Paramhamsai. So these transcendentalist Paramahamsas, what they have done? Ashrame. They have taken shelter of Krishna. I pay obeisances to Lord, who is the shelter of Paramahamsas. And then Vyavasthitanam Anu Mrugya Dashushe. Vyavasthitanam. He is situated. Anu Mrugyaha. That is a destination actually. He is particularly situated. That means these Paramahamsas, they are situated. And even the devotees are situated. Anumrugyaha. These transcendentalists, they are situated in the Anumrugyaha Dashushe, in the spiritual destination. So this is the path. He is the goal of the devotees. He gives to the Gyanis, he gives Bhakti Mishraha Jnana. To the devotees, he gives Prema. So somebody is interested in the Jnana Margaha, he gives Bhakti Mishraha Jnana. Like you have 4 types of devotees coming to Krishna, 4 types of people. Artho Jigyasu Arthati Jnani. Which Jnani has been spoken there? Bhakta Mishraha Jnana has been spoken. But beyond all these things are the Bhaktas. Bhaktas who are, they don't have Jnana Mishrita. They are pure devotees like Vrajavasis. When you say Vrajavasis, the Krishna's internal potencies and internal Parshadas who don't have knowledge that Krishna is God. To them, Krishna bestows Prema. They're only interested in Prema. They're not much interested in the Jnana aspect. So the question arises, who are we then? From which category we come? We are just sadhakas. We are sadhakas trying to get the knowledge so that our sadhana becomes more stronger. Our sadhana becomes more stronger. So yes, in the path of Jnana. But we are not interested in speculative knowledge. We are interested in the knowledge of Krishna. The more we gain knowledge of Krishna, our confidence and our bhakti grows. Who have the spontaneous love for Krishna, they already have this jnana, but because of the Yoga Maya Shakti, it has been covered. There are pure devotees who have spontaneous love. Now, for us, it has been trained. It's trained with knowledge. There's nothing problem. Even if it is trained, it is wonderful. Even if it is Mishrit also, not a problem. But the predominance or the more importance is to have love for Krishna, to serve Krishna. Bhakti Mishrit Jnana. When we say Bhakti Mishrit Jnana means Bhakti is important. Jnana is there, but Bhakti is more important. There is the Jnana Mishrit Bhakti. For them, Jnana is more important. They take the aid or the help of Bhakti. Just to know I'm not the body, I'm soul. They just take to some part of devotional services and afterwards they leave devotional services. But Bhakti Mishrit Jnana will never leave devotional services. In fact, slowly they can come to the stage of having spontaneous love for Krishna. Okay. So here, destroyer of the sufferings of the devotees, giving the liberation to the demons. He is a form of Shuddha Sattva, he is a shelter of the mood of the Paramahamsas. He is giver of Brahman to the Bhakti Mishrit Jnana. And in this way, he gives prema to the pure devotees. Raksha Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Shloka 30. Bhuyo nama satkujina ichhede sata asambhavaya khila sattvamurtaye pumsam punah paramahansaya ashrame vyavasthita nama anumrugya dashushe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. Lord Shri Krishna is the complete form of all existence, both material and spiritual. Akhila means complete, or that which is not khila, inferior. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there are two kinds of nature, Prakruti, namely the material nature and the spiritual nature, or the external and internal potency of the Lord. The material nature is called apara, or inferior, and the spiritual nature is called superior or transcendental. Therefore, the form of the Lord is not of the inferior material nature. He is complete transcendence, and he is murti, or having transcendental form. The less intelligent men who are unaware of his transcendental form describe him as an impersonal Brahman. But Brahman is simply the rays of his transcendental body. Yasya Prabha. The devotee who are aware of his transcendental form render him service. Therefore, the Lord also reciprocates by his causeless mercy and thus delivers his devotee from all distress. The pious men who follow the ruling of the Vedas are also dear to him, and therefore the pious men of this world are also protected by him. The impious and the non-devotees are against the principle of the Vedas, and so such persons are always hampered from making advance in their nefarious activities. Some of them who are specially favored by the Lord are killed by him personally. As in the case of Ravan, Hiranyakashipu and Kams, and thus such demons get salvation and are thereby checked from further progress in their demonic activities. Just like a kind father, either in his favor upon the devotees or his punishment of the demon, he is ever kind to everyone, because he is the complete existence for all individual existence. The Paramhansa stage of existence is the highest perfectional stage of spiritual values. According to Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord is factually understood by the Paramhansa only, as there is gradual realization of the transcendence from impersonal Brahman to localized Paramatma to the personality of Godhead, Purushottam. Lord Shri Krishna, similarly, there is a gradual promotion of one's situation in the spiritual life of sannyas. Sannyas, Kutikat. एक मिनिट माताजी.
Sannyasa, Putichaka, Bahudaka,
Parivajicharya and Paramhans. Yes. Our gradual progressive stage in the renounce
are gradually, one minute, are gradual progressive stages in the renounced order of life. The sannyasa. Sannyasa means sattanyasa, in the search of absolute truth, giving up material propensity. Kutichaka, but sannyasa is also an ashram also. The real meaning of sannyasa is sattanyasa. That can be a grahastha, also can be a sannyasi. But after taking Varnashrama sannyasa, the karma sannyasa, there are certain people, Kutichaka, they are interested more in getting the facilities from their houses. They are sannyasis, but they are Kutichaka sannyasis. Then Bahudaka, they go to different houses to beg, and in this way, they get facilities from different houses. Parivrajaka they are like, they just go on. They are not much interested in getting any benefits. They just walk around. They are not stuck to anyone. But then, these Parivarjakacharyas, they are dependent on whatever they get. They are not much dependent on whatever they get. It comes, doesn't come, comes, doesn't come. Paramahamsas are more advanced. They are not interested in getting anything. They may take just a small chance, maybe once in 2 days or something like that. They are not much interested in any of the bodily comfort. They are more interested in the renounced order of life and remembering the Lord. Read.
Yes, Mataji.
Kunti Devi, the
Pandava.
mother of Pandavas,
Yeah, has spoken about them in her prayers for Lord Krishna. So 1 chapter 8, the Paramahamsas are gradually found among both the impersonalists and the devotees.
your voice is going.
What, Mataji?
Yeah, read.
Oh,
The Paramahamsas are generally found among both impersonalists and the devotees.
yes, Mataji, I am reading.
Yeah, your voice cut na.
Okay, Mataji. The Paramahamsas are gradually found among both the impersonalists and the devotees. But according to Srimad Bhagavatam, as clearly stated by Kunti Devi, pure Bhakti Yoga is understood by the Paramahamsa, and the Kunti Devi is especially mentioned that the Lord descends especially to award Bhakti Yoga to the Paramahamsa. So ultimately the
Wait.
Paramahamsa in the...
You stop. 1 minute. I'll read from you. Kunti Devi has specially mentioned that the Lord descends. Paritranaya Sadhunam is actually for the Paramahamsas. Because they are in true sense unalloyed devotees of the Lord. Sri Jiva Goswami has directly accepted the highest destination of Bhakti Yoga, by which one accepts the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Those who accept the path of Bhakti Yoga are factual Paramahamsas. The Prabhupada in one place says, Vrindavan is actually for Paramahamsas, not for the so-called devotees going there in summer coming out of Vrindavan. Oh, it's so hot. Paramahamsas have never done like this, going to Vrindavan only in wonderful seasons. Then coming out of Vrindavan in winters, and because in winter and summers, Vrindavan is very hot. So Vrindavan is not the place for a sadhaka. Vrindavan is the place for Paramahamsas. For a sadhaka, it is Mayapur Dham. And go stay Mayapur Dham and get Sukruti to do more devotional service. Paramahamsas are those who they cannot leave Vrindavan. There's Babaji there. I sometimes call him, why don't you come, Babaji? He says, no, we cannot leave our Giriraj. So much of love they have for the Giriraj. So for it is not the place for sadhakas. Sadhakas can go visit 3 days, come back. And that too along with the devotees so that they can hear more about Lord. Now here very clearly it has been said, Paramahamsas, they are unalloyed devotees, and Jiva Goswami has accepted the highest destination. Jiva Goswami, all the Goswamis, they stayed in Vrindavan. They are supposed to stay in Vrindavan. They were told to stay in Vrindavan by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Since the Lord is very kind to everyone, the impersonalists who accept bhakti as a means of merging in the existence of the Lord, in his impersonal Brahmajyoti, they are also awarded their desired destination. He has assured everyone, ye yathamam prapadyante. According to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, there are 2 classes of Paramahamsas. Brahmanandis, that is impersonalists, Premanandis, devotees. Both are awarded their desired destination. Although Premanandis are more fortunate than Brahmanandis. But both Brahmanandis and Premanandis are transcendentalists. And they have nothing to do with the inferior material energy or nature full of existential miseries of life. So Brahmanandis, they are more interested in the impersonal aspect of Lord. They are also getting that type of liberation. Such Brahmanandis were Shaunakadi Rishis. There are 4 Kumaras. They are 4 Kumaras. But then when they got the fragrance of Tulsi of Krishna, they became Premanandis. And so in this way, Krishna awards to the impersonalist, the Brahman aspect, but Prema to the devotees. Okay. 14th verse. Namo namaste. Namo namaste. Vrishabhaya satvatam vidurakashtaya muhukuyoginam. Vidurakashtaya muhukuyoginam. Nirastasamyatishayena radhasa. Swadhamani brahmani ramsyate namah. Namo namaste stavrishabhaya satvatam vidurakashtaya muhukuyoginam. Nirastasamyatishayena radhasa. Swadhamani brahmani ramsyate namah. Again, I pay obeisances. You see 3 times. I pay obeisances, I pay obeisances. That is how Sukadeva Goswami remembered Lord. To speak about Lord, one has to remember Lord by paying obeisances and glorifying Lord. So, Nama Namaste Astuhu Rishabhaya Satvatam. He is a great associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty. Yadavas, Yadu dynasty. And then Vidhira Kashtaya. Vidhira Kashta is far from the mundane wranglers. Prabhupada writes, he always is a problem for the non-devotees. Then Muho Kuyoginam, they are non-devotees. And he comes to vanquish them. Nirastaha. Samya Atishayena. Then Samyam Atishayena is a supreme Atishayena. Rajasaha Swadhamnihi Brahmani Ramsyate. This Ramsyate word comes here. He is the enjoyer of both. He enjoys his own abode. He enjoys material world. Samyam, this word is there. He is equal. He enjoys both. At the same time, this equal word has been used here also. There is no one equal to him because of his transcendental opulences. Opulence is immeasurable. So this equal has been taken in 2 ways. He is equal in both. At the same time, no one can equal him. That has been also given. No one can equal him. He enjoys both the worlds. And here it has been given. I continually offer respects to you, son of Vasudeva, for those who remain forever distant from the non-devotees who are enjoyer in your spiritual abode in Mathura and Braja with your devotees, displaying powers that are unequaled and unsurpassed. So this equal word has been taken in 2 senses. Vidhura Kashtaya is far from the mundane wranglers. Muhu, he is always far from non-devotees also. Kuyoginam, Nirastaha, he vanquishes. He is in equal status in both. Ati Ashayena, the greatness, in opulence, no one can equal him. Swadhamni, he enjoys his abode. Ramsyatehe, Brahmani, he enjoys the spiritual sky, his own abode. So that is why he is the, and then it is given that he is the member of Satvatam. Satvatam means he is the member of the devotees. That means every devotee's first family member is who? Krishna. Satvatam has been given members of the Yadu dynasty. At the same time, one can take it that every devotee who is sincerely like Paramahamsas. They are very sincere. They just want to elevate themselves in devotional service. So he is their great associate. Okay. When we do this word to word, then this whole verse just gets stuck in your consciousness. If you just read the translation, just you have to go word to word. Every word is very important and every word can be described. Like when you have just Radhasa, learn to describe now the word, every word. Immediately you can start describing Krishna's opulences. Krishna has 6 opulences in full. So with that 6 opulences, he is equal everywhere. Sometimes you say, oh, he is more opulent in Dwarka. He is equally opulent in Mathura also. He is equally opulent in Vrindavan also. But his sweetness surpasses opulence. Sweetness surpasses opulence. But Krishna's opulence is not less in Goloka. In Vrindavan also he has the same opulence. That is why he is with every gopi. It is not that Krishna expands. Sometimes you think Krishna expands. No, Krishna dances with every gopi. That is how his swiftness is. When Krishna is dancing on the head of Kaliya, it is not that Krishna is expanding. He is dancing so swiftly. That is his opulence. Krishna can expand also. But Krishna can at one time swiftly dance, making everyone feel that Krishna is dancing only with him, with her. So in this way, Krishna's opulence is there in Vrindavan, but sweetness has been covered. The sweetness has covered the eyes of the Vrajavasis. So they think that our Narayana has protected our Krishna. So the opulence, that is why here it is given. He is opulent, he is enjoyer in all the worlds. And here Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says he is the same, even in Mathura also, Vraja also. He is enjoying there also. Okay. Vrindavan Lila Mataji, read.
Namo namaste stavarishbhaya sattvatam vidurakasthaya kuyoginam nirasta samyatisaya naradhasa swadhamani brahmani ramsate namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty and who is always a problem for the non-devotees. He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds, yet he enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky. There's no one equal to him because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable. There are 2 sides of the transcendental manifestations of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. For the pure devotees, he is a constant companion, as in the case of his becoming one of the family members of the Yadu dynasty, or his becoming the friend of Arjun, or his becoming the associate neighbor of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, as the son of Nanda Yashoda, the friend of Sudama, Sridama, Madhumangala, or the lover of the damsels of Rajabhumi, etc. That is part of his personal feature. And by his impersonal feature, he expands the rays of the Brahma Jyoti, which is limitless and all-pervasive. Part of this all-pervasive Brahma Jyoti, which is compared to the sun rays, is covered by the darkness of the Mahat Tattva. And this insignificant part is known as the material world. In this material world, there are innumerable universes like the one we can experience. And in each one of them, there are hundreds of thousands of planets like the one we are inhabiting. The mundaners are more or less captivated by the unlimited expansion of the rays of the Lord, but the devotees are concerned more with his personal form, from which everything is emanating. Janmadi asya yataha. As the sun rays are concentrated in the sun disk, the Brahm Jyoti is concentrated in Golok Vrindavan, the topmost spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. The immeasurable spiritual sky is full of spiritual planets named Vaikunthas, for beyond the material sky. The mundaners have insufficient information of even the mundane sky. So what can they think of the spiritual sky? Therefore, the mundaners are always far, far away from him. Even if in the future they are able to manufacture some machine whose speed may be accelerated to the velocity of the wind or mind, the mundaners will still be unable to imagine reaching the planets in the spiritual sky. So the Lord and his residential abode will always remain a myth or a mysterious problem. But for the devotees, the Lord will always be available as an associate. In the spiritual sky, his opulence is immeasurable. The Lord resides in all the spiritual planets, the innumerable Vaikuntha planets, by expanding his plenary portions along with his liberated devotee associates. But the impersonalists who want to merge in the existence of the Lord are allowed to merge as one of the spiritual sparks of the Brahmajyoti. They have no qualification for becoming associates of the Lord either in the Vaikuntha planets or in the supreme planet Golok Vrindavan, described in the Bhagavad Gita as Madhama, and here in this verse as the Swadhama of the Lord. This Madhama or Swadhama is described in the Bhagavad Gita 15.6 as follows. Na tad bhasyate suryo na shashanko na
Not that.
pavaka.
No, not that.
Na tad bhasyate suryo na shashanko na pavaka. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. The Lord's Swadhama does not require any sunlight or moonlight or electricity for illumination. That dham or place is supreme, and whoever goes there never comes back to this material world. The Vaikuntha planets and the Golok Vrindavan planet are all self-illuminating, and the rays scattered by those Swadham of the Lord constitute the existence of the Brahmajyoti. As further confirmed in the Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.10, Katha Upanishad 2.2.15, and Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.14. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam neme vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tam eva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. In the Swadhama of the Lord, there is no need of sun, moon, or stars for illumination, nor is there need of electricity. So what to speak of ignited lamps? On the other hand, it is because those planets are self-illuminating that all effulgence has become possible. And whatever there is that is dazzling is due to the reflection of that Swadham. One who is dazzled by the effulgence of the impersonal Brahmajyoti cannot know the personal transcendence. Therefore, in the Ishopanishad 15, it is prayed that the Lord shift his dazzling effulgence so that the devotees can see the real reality. It is spoken this, Hiranyamaya patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushan appavrunu satyadharmaya drishtaye. O Lord, you are the maintainer of everything, both material and spiritual, and everything flourishes by your mercy. Your devotional service or bhakti yoga is the actual principle of religion, Satya Dharma, and I am engaged in that service. So kindly protect me by showing your real face. Please therefore remove the veil of your Brahmajyoti rays so that I can see your form of eternal bliss and knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So Prabhupada has given a long purport, Madham. And there, Tatat Bhasyate Surya, what is the description about the Dhama has been given. Then in Shvetashvatara Upanishad is also there also about the Dhama. Then Hiranmayena Patrena from Ishopanishad. Satya Sapi Tamukam Tattam Pushapavani Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye. Oh Lord, remove all your effulgence so that I can you remove this veil of your Brahmajyoti so that we can see your wonderful blissful form. So why Prabhupada is described so much about the Dhama? Because of the spiritual sky which has been mentioned. He enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky. So the nature of the spiritual sky has been given. And nature of the spiritual sky has also been given in the first verse of first canto Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. Nirasta kuhakam. There is no kuhakam there. So the nature of the spiritual sky, that means one to reach the spiritual sky, one should be free from all type of illusions. Okay. Last verse. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam, yad vandanam, yat shravanam, yad arhanam, lokasya dadyo vidunoti kalmasham, tasmai subhadra shavase namo namah. One verses are so beautiful. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam, yad vandanam, yad shravanam, yad arhanam. Lokasya sadhyo vidunoti kalmasham. Tasmai subhatra shavase namo namaha. Actually, there should be there should be desire, at least in the time of quitting the body, one should be completely absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Till that time, whatever projects do whatever. But the last days when we are unable to do so many things, and this our whole consciousness should be in the verses. So that is the desire every Bhakti Vaibhav student should have. Because in the beginning, yes, now we have to do so much of activity, so many activities are involved. But in that also taking out time to study, it's a really great thing. By the time of quitting the body, the whole consciousness should be, let me be absorbed in the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, because every verse is Krishna himself. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam. O Lord, let me pay obeisances to you, namaha. Last verse, tasmai subhatraha shavase namo namaha. Namo namaha. Again, Sukadeva Goswami says, let me pay obeisances to you, O Lord. Hearing about him, glorification, glorifying him, remembering him, and then having his audience, kshanam, praying him, prayers to him, and then shravanam, hearing about him, then arhanam, worshipping him. What happens by doing all this? Lokasya satyaha vidhunoti. Vidhunoti means dholiya. Vidhunoti, vishesha rupena dhunoti. Not just cleaning. It is vishesha cleaning, specifically cleaning. What? Kalmashaha. All the effects of the sins. So whatever sinful reactions are there, prarabdha, bija, kutam, whatever, everything can be easily cleansed off. Because Krishna is all auspicious, Subhadra. Bhadramte, Subhadra. What is the meaning of Subhadra? Who is always auspicious. That is why Jagannath Baladev, in between who is there? Subhadra is there. Subhadra is always auspicious. She is Yogamaya herself. And in this way, Krishna is always auspicious just by one who has heard this. Shavase, whoever hears about these glories, which glories? The glory of glorifying Krishna, the glory of remembering Krishna, the glory of having personal audience of Lord, prayers, the glory of prayers, the glory of hearing, the glory of worshipping, and how glorious all these processes are to cleanse our effects of the sins. One who hears this, that also is very glorious. Then he starts following this Navavidha Bhakti. Okay. Aruna, read.
Hare Krishna. Text 15. Yat kirtanam yat smaranam yad ikshanam yad vandanam yad shravanam yad arhanam lokasya sadhyo vidunoti kalmasham tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Translation. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. The sublime form of religious performances to free oneself from all reactions of sins is suggested herein by the great authority Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Kirtanam, or glorifying the Lord, can be performed in many ways, such as remembering, visiting temples to see the deity, offering prayers in front of the Lord, and hearing recitations or glorification of the Lord as they are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in the Bhagavad Gita. Kirtanam can be performed both by singing the glories of the Lord in accompaniment with melodious music and by recitation of scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. The devotees need not be disappointed in the physical absence of the Lord, though they may think of not being associated with him. The devotional process of chanting, hearing, remembering, etc., either all or some of them, or even one of them, can give us the desired result of associating with the Lord by discharging the transcendental loving service of the Lord in the above manner. Even the very sound of the holy name of Lord Krishna or Rama can at once surcharge the atmosphere spiritually. We must know definitely that the Lord is present wherever such pure transcendental service is performed, and thus the performer of offenseless Kirtanam has positive association with the Lord. Similarly, remembrance and prayers can also give us the desired result if they are properly done under the expert guidance. One should not concoct forms of devotional service. One may worship the form of Lord in a temple or may impersonally offer the Lord a devotional prayers in a mosque or a church. One is sure to get free from the reactions of sins provided one is very careful about not committing sins willingly in expectation of getting free from the reactions of sins by worshipping in the temple or by offering prayers in the church. Getting free from the reactions of sins by worshipping in the temple or by offering prayers in the church. This mentality of committing sins willfully on the strength of devotional service is called Namno Balad Yasyahi Papa Buddhihi, and it is the greatest offense in the discharge of devotional service. Hearing, therefore, is essential in order to keep oneself strictly on guard against such pitfalls of sins. And in order to give special stress to the hearing process, the Goswami invokes all auspicious fortune in this matter. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Namno balad yasya hi papa buddhihi. We'll take another verse also now. So that has been given. Why Prabhupada has put this? Namno balad yasya hi papa buddhihi. Because even if we are in the path of devotion, we should not take it for granted that we can do whatever sins on the strength of the holy name. So that is also one has to be very careful about it. Okay. Vichakshana yat charanopasadana sangam vidasyo bhayato antaratmanah vindanti brahma gatim gatak Klamas tasmai subhadra shabase namo namaha vichakshana yacharanopasadana sangam yudasyo bhaya tontaratmana vindanti brahma gatim gataklamas tasmai subhadra shabase namo namaha. So auspicious to hear about him, so auspicious to pay obeisances to him. Let me offer obeisances to him. How? Again and again. Vichakshana, charana upasadanat. So, vichakshana. Even if there are highly intelligent people, what they should do? They should just pay obeisances to the lotus feet of Krishna. Sangam vidhayat. Sangam vidhayat. In this way, they should come out of their attachment. Ubhaya, present or future. Antaha atmanaha. Antaha atmanaha. Vindanti. So, anta atmanaha means the attachment to everything, and then anta atmanaha is present within. Vindanti, in this way they progress, they move progressively, Brahma Gatim, towards the spiritual existence, Gataklamaha, and how? Without difficulty, Tasmai Subhadraha, Shavase. Whoever hears about him, they can understand these glories. He is all auspicious. Let me pay obeisances again and again. Now, hear about the intellectual classes of people have been spoken. In Gopi Geet also, the gopis say, Madhura Madhuraya Gira. What is that verse? Yes. Tell that verse. Nice verse where it said, you can even
Madhurya
rebuild
gira valgu
Vakya.
vakyaya
Buddha Manokaya. Usharekshana.
Pushkarekshane
Vidikaririma.
Vidikaririma
Veera
Veeramuyate
Adara
Adarasiduna
Yes.
Syayasuna.
Buddha Manogya, highly intelligent people, when they speak, when they see you speaking, they're completely mesmerized. Just hear about Krishna and be mesmerized, even if you're an intellectual person. An intellectual person can give up everything only when he is relieved of all the attachments and he surrenders to Krishna. Then it is very, very easy for him to progress in devotional service. So about intellectual persons have been given. Who are those intellectual people? At least they know I'm not the body, I'm soul. Such type of intellectual people, even the Gyanis, when they surrender to Krishna, giving up all the present and the future attachments, then they can easily progress. Okay. Sanjay Prabhu is highly intellectual person, but completely surrendered to Krishna.
Hare Krishna
The
Mataji.
verse also has come
Namaskar.
for you, very nicely.
No. Vichakshana yat charano pasadnat sangam yudasyo bhayato antaratmana vindanti hi brahma gatim gacchamas istasmai subhadra shavse namo namah. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all-auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, the highly intellectual, simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet, are relieved of all attachments to present and future existences, and without difficulty progress towards spiritual existence. Purport. Lord Shri Krishna has repeatedly instructed Arjun, or for that matter, everyone concerned with becoming his unalloyed devotee. In the last phase of his instruction in the Bhagavad Gita, 18.64 to 66, he instructed most confidentially as follows. Sarva guyattamam bhuya shanu me parmam vache isto asi me dradmiti tato vakshayami te hitam मनमना भव मद भक्तो मद्याजी माम नमस्कुरु माम में वेश्यसी सत्यम ते प्रतिजाने प्रियो असी में सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणम व्रज अहम त्वाम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयास्मि मा शुच. My dear Arjun, you are very dear to me, and therefore only for your good I will disclose the most secret part of my instructions. It is simply this: become a pure devotee of mine and give yourself unto me only, and I promise you full spiritual existence, by which you may gain the eternal right of transcendental loving service unto me. Just give up all other ways of religiosity and exclusively surrender unto me, and believe that I will protect you from your sinful acts, and I shall deliver you. Do not worry anymore. Persons who are intelligent take serious notice of this last instruction of the Lord. Knowledge of the self is the first step in spiritual realization, which is called confidential knowledge. And a step further is God realization, which is called more confidential knowledge. The culmination of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is God realization. And when one attains this stage of God realization, he naturally, voluntarily becomes a devotee of the Lord to render him loving transcendental service. This devotional service to the Lord is always based on love of God and is distinct from the nature of routine service as prescribed in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are different instructions for such men of different categories, and there are various descriptions for Varnashrama Dharma, Sannyas Dharma, Yati Dharma, that is the renounced order of life, controlling the senses, meditation, perfection of mystic powers, etc. But one who fully surrenders unto the Lord to render service unto him, out of a spontaneous love for him, factually assimilates the essence of all knowledge described in the Vedas. One who adopts this method very skillfully attains perfection of life at once, And this perfection of human life is called Brahmagati, or the progressive march in spiritual existence. As enunciated by Srila Jiva Goswami on the basis of Vedic assurances, Brahmagati means to attain a spiritual form as good as that of the Lord. And in that form, the liberated living being eternally lives on one of the spiritual planets situated in the spiritual sky. Attainment of this perfection of life is easily available to a pure devotee of the Lord without his undergoing any difficult method of perfection. Such a devotional life is full of kirtanam, smaranam, ikshanam, etc., as mentioned in the previous verse. One must therefore adopt the simple way of devotional life in order to attain the highest perfection available in any category of the human form of life in any part of the world. When Lord Brahma met Lord Krishna as a playful child at Vrindavan, he offered his prayer in which he said, Shreyasritim bhaktim udasyate vibho, klishyanti ye keval bodha labdhe, tesham asau kleshala eva shishyate, nanyad yatha sthula tusav ghatinam. Bhakti Yoga is the highest quality of perfection to be achieved by the intelligent person in lieu of performing a large quantity of spiritual activities. The example cited here is very appropriate. A handful of real paddy is more valuable than heaps of paddy skins without any substance within. Similarly, one should not be attracted by the jugglery of Karmakand or Gyankand or even the gymnastic performances of yoga, but skillfully should take to the simple performances of Kirtanam, Smaranam, etc. under a bona fide spiritual master and without any difficulty attain the highest perfection. Hare Krishna.
Okay, last verse. Today, last. 17th verse. I'll complete this portion on Saturday. That is 9th. Till that time, holiday for you. Whole week holiday. 9th, nothing is there. I think 6th, 7th, 8th, all the function gets over. So 9th we can have, if no one is tired. Irata Hunandra Pulinda. Which one?
Mata is 17th one.
Yeah.
Tapasvin.
Tapasvino dana para yashasvino manasvino mantravida sumangala kshemam navindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai subhadra shavase namo namah. See again, Subhadra Shavase. Just hearing about him is so auspicious. Tapasvino dana para yashasvino Manasvino mantra vidasu mangala kshemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai subhadra shabase namo namaha. Hearing about him is so auspicious. I pay obeisances to him again and again. Namo namaha. Tapasvinaha danaparaha yashasvinaha. Now again about the glory of Lord. That Tapasvina, the great sages, then the great sages, Yashasvinaha, the Sadhanaparaha, the great performer of charity, Yashasvinaha, the great worker of distinction, Manasvinaha, the great philosophers or mystics, Mantravidaha, the great chanter of Vedic hymns, Sumangalaha, the one who follows very strictly all the Vedic principles. Na vindanti kshemam. They will not attain fruitive results. Vina yad arpanam. Without dedicating themselves to him. There's a verse which says, Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Find out which verse it is. Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Find out. What is the use of being a jnani? What is the use of being nishkami, nishkarmi? Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Which verse? Find out. You have that. You can find out. So here it is said, if he is a great sage, Very wonderful. But he has not surrendered to Krishna. What is the use? If he is a great philosopher, he is following Vedic principles very nicely, doing everything according to the Vedas, but he has not given himself arpanam to Lord. Then there is no use. And in this way, different people from different paths has been spoken. There are people who are learners. There are some people who give a lot of charity. Lot of charity. What is the use even if you give a lot of charity? If you are not surrendered to God, Lord, arpanam, you are not given to Krishna. What is the use of even giving a lot of charity? Learned person, great chanters of Vedic hymns. He is chanting very nicely, but he has not given himself to Krishna. Then there is no use. So, which is that verse? Did you find out? I'll give you. Nashobhate jnanamalam niranjanam. Immediately it's not coming. I will put that verse in the group. So very clearly it has been said, what is the use of all these people? They will not attain any results if they have not taken shelter of Krishna. So all the paths are of no use if they cannot achieve any desired results without dedication of such great qualities to the service of God. Okay. You can just put that na shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam. If you put that much line in Bhagavatam verse will come out. If you put it in the computer, na shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam. The first line, immediately if you can tell me the first line, it will be nice. The computer you type na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Okay, till the time Ravindra Satyakshati Putra Prabhu, Gyandeep Prabhu, keep your mobile in silence. Gyandeep Prabhu. And
Hare Krishna Mataji.
1 minute, I've got that verse.
Yeah, it is 1.12.
Naishkarmyam, Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varchitam. Na shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam. Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varchitam. He is a Naishkarmyam. He is not interested in the fruitive results. What is the use that has been given? What is the use? Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varchitam. Achyuta bhava is not there. And that is why na shobhate. There is no use. Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. That has been given. That verse, try to learn that verse also. It's a nice verse. It is correlating verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that other verse, Mataji, you wanted?
Mataji, may I chant that one?
Yeah,
I
chant.
got the, yeah.
Yeah, chant.
Yes, Mataji. नैष्कर्म्यच्युत भाववर्जितं न शोभते ज्ञानमलं निरञ्जनं कुत पुनः शाश्वत भद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यदप्यकारणम्.
So, kuta punah shashwat abhadram ishware. What is the use of all this? Punaha, there is no use. Punaha, doing all these things. They are not free, Niranjanam, they are not free from all these designations still. Abhadram, it is not auspicious because they have not surrendered to Krishna. Na arpitam, they are not offering their fruitive results to Krishna. Na asha arpitam karmayar api akaranam. Though they may not have desire, but still. Very important verse. This is correlating to this verse. Okay, read Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, you had said about this verse you wanted, he can be known, Krishna can be known only through bhakti, and that is the Bhagavad Gita verse 8.22. Purushaha saparaha partha bhaktya labhyas. 8.22.
Yes.
Sarvamidam tatam. Tani yena sarvamidam. Purushaha saparaha partha bhaktya labhyas Vana Anyanya. The Supreme Divine
Purusha Saparapartha Bhaktya Labhyasthananyaya Yasyantastani Bhutani Yena Sarvamidam Tatam Bhaktya Labhyastva Anyaya. Only by Ananya Bhakti, Ananyaya. Unalloyed devotion, a person can understand about Krishna's opulence, Krishna's sweetness, everything. Okay, read.
tapasvino dana para yashashvino manashvino mantra vidaha sumangalaha
Basunkarga.
Shemam na vindanti vina yat arpanam tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Translation by Prabhupada. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna again and again, because the great learned sages, the great performance of charity, the great workers of distinction, the great philosophers and mystics, the great chanters of the Vedic hymns and the great followers of Vedic principles cannot achieve any fruitive result without dedication of such great qualities to the service of the Lord. Purport by Srila Vaibhav. Advancement of learning, a charitable disposition, political, social, or religious leadership of human society, philosophical speculations, the practice of the yoga system, expertise in the Vedic rituals, and all similar high qualities in man serve one in the attainment of perfection only when they are employed in the service of the Lord. Without such dovetailing, all such qualities become source of trouble for people in general. Everything can be utilized either for one's own sense gratification or in the service of one other than oneself. There are two kinds of self-interest also, namely personal selfishness and extended selfishness. But there is no qualitative difference between personal and extended selfishness. Theft for personal interest or for the family interest is of the same quality, namely criminal. A thief pleading not guilty because of committing theft not for personal interest but for the interest of society or country has never been excused by the established law of any country. People in general have no knowledge that the self-interest of a living being attains perfection only when such an interest coincides with the interest of the Lord. For example, what is the interest of maintaining body and soul together? One earns money for the maintenance of the body, that is personal or social. But unless there is God consciousness, unless the body is being properly maintained to realize one's relation with God, all good efforts to maintain body and soul together are similar to the attempts of the animals to maintain body and soul together. The purpose of maintaining the human body is different from that of the animals. Similarly, advancement of learning, economic development, philosophical research, study in the Vedic literature, or even in the execution of pious activities like charity, opening of hospitals, distribution of food grains, should be done in relation with the Lord. The aim of all such acts and endeavors must be the pleasure of the Lord and not the satisfaction of any other identity, individual or collective. Shamsidir Haritoshanam. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:27, the same principle is confirmed where it is said that whatever we may give in charity and whatever we may observe in austerity must be given over to the Lord or to be done on his account only. The expert leaders of a godless human civilization cannot bring about a fruitative result in all their different attempts at educational advancement or economic development unless they are God conscious. And to become God conscious, one has to hear about all auspicious Lord. And he is described in literature like the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
So here we'll stop. Any doubts you can ask. We may have more 7-8 verses for completing this chapter.
Mataji,
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Mataji, Sloka 14 भगवत गीता के 5वें चैप्टर का लास्ट वर्स है, भोक्ता राम यज्ञ तपसा, उसके साथ हम रिलेट कर सकते हैं माता जी 14 श्लोका?
हाँ, कर सकते हैं। सब चीज
भोक्ता राम यज्ञ,
हाँ, भोक्ता राम यज्ञ तपसा, ही इज द एंजॉयर, कर सकते।
ओके माता जी।
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji, one small question. You said Srila Sukdev Goswami heard Bhagavatam by Lord Shiva, that is when he was sitting as a parrot. And then he also heard from Srila Vaibhav. Then why it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that that only by hearing about that Bhakti, that verse is then Bhakiyam Sanakal Kutam, then why he heard this and then came back to Vyasdev when he had already heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Shiva?
He has heard Srimad Bhagavatam, but he was attracted to the Brahman effulgence of Lord. To make him get attracted to more about the personal aspect of Lord. Again, this is Leela actually.
Yeah, all these are
Born
Leelas
from the
only.
womb.
Yeah,
Born
yeah.
from the womb.
Yeah.
Then he is attracted. Actually, he knows the whole Bhagavatam. He's parrot of Krishna.
Parrot of
He's
Radharani.
parrot of Srimati Radharani. So he
Yeah.
knows. But
Yeah,
to
so-
emphasize that once you are born, you have to hear about Lord, to remember about Lord. So he's
Okay.
born again, na?
Yes. So he's a Parshada. Actually, he knows the Bhagavatam from before only.
But a living entity, when he is born, he can remember Lord only by hearing about Lord.
That is to teach us.
That is to teach us.
Okay, thank you. Hare
The
Krishna.
moment he has heard his Brahman aspect, his desire for Brahman aspect has now converted into Brahmanandi to Premanandi.
So this is actually a direct instruction for Brahmanandis. That you don't do this, you go for this. Like that. Okay, thank you.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Vrindavan Laman. Yes.
Mataji, can you please explain? We use it so often. The word impersonalist.
Impersonalists who are not much interested in feeding Lord, dressing Lord, not even accepting also Lord has form. Lord can do all this. They are more interested in, just remember him, na? He is Srishti Karta, he is Jagat Palaka. But who is he? He eats, na? No, not much interested in that all things. Not interested, not even understanding that Vigraha is a person. So for them, Vigraha worship is like sentimentalists. For them, who is Lord? Shuddha Sattva, yes, but that Shuddha Sattva has a form. That form is not understood by them. Tomara Pratima Nahi Sakshat Brajendra Nandana has not been accepted. That is why Lord eats that cannot be digested. Lord eats and digests also, but these people cannot digest that Lord has eaten. That is
Then,
how.
like Mataji, correct me when I go wrong. Like, for example, Prabhupada came down very heavily on impersonalists in India. But here we at least see that they have the concept of localized or the Paramatma aspect of that. Like they are respectful.
Aspect is not, the Lord has a form. See, Paramatma aspect is understood very nicely only by a devotee, not by impersonalists. For them, Paramatma is again an imaginary form.
Okay. Yes.
So impersonalists are not even having that understanding. For them, everything is Brahman.
Then my question is, Mataji, like here we see that there are levels of realization of the Lord.
Yeah.
So why should we come down so heavily upon them? Maybe one day they will be able to promote themselves to the higher plane. That's my one concern. And second concern that I see is like here when it comes to Indian impersonalists. Sorry, I'm being very, very, very clear and specific.
I was to come to that only point.
But
Impersonalism in the foreign land was very, very vague. Like they were not understanding. A hallucination. This is Prabhupada used to be very heavy. Indian impersonalist. To some extent they will accept here and there. Some puja they will do. But again, Lord is a person, is not understood properly. Culture is some puja has to be done. In everyone's house, some deities will be there. But that is again, they are not understood. That is why they eat, they do everything. They'll do everything. But so slowly, yes, because they are in the path of transcendentalists. So then they try to come out of all the sense gratification. All those things are wonderful. I'm not the body, I'm soul. If they are taking up this path very seriously, in that also they can attain liberation. That is what Prabhupada writes. The Paramahamsas in the impersonalists among the impersonalists. They attain liberation.
Yes.
The whole concept of impersonalism, if you see, then there are atheists anyhow, they are not counted. They're not counted. They don't accept Lord. Step by step, like sadhaka is a sadhana, is a step in the devotional service. Like that, impersonalists in the beginning, they don't accept Lord as a person. They will sing and all. They'll come before the Lord, they will sing, they will dance, they'll do everything. But when it comes to saying Lord eats, Lord is supreme, they say Aham Brahmasmi. For them, everything is Brahman. Lord is a person. Then they take the shelter of Adi Shankaracharya's wrong philosophy.
Then why do we see him, like here also we saw Mataji, like when Prabhupada writes about those who pray in the church or in the mosque, but there he is not coming down heavily upon them. But when it comes to this side,
He has
is
not
very,
accepted them only.
No, Mataji.
But he says,
Many-
yes, place of worship. He says, he respects. It's a place of worship. There is something known as fool. There is something known as rascal. Okay? Fools are those who are in the preliminary stage. You cannot be heavy on them. The rascals are those after reading the Vedas also. They don't accept the form of Krishna. That is why Prabhupada is very strict on you calling yourself as Hindus and you are not accepting Lord as a person. See, there is something which is directly told in the land of Bharata, directly told. And on the name of Vedantists, people are not accepting Lord, then Acharyas have to be very heavy. Okay, in some part of the world, it has not been given directly. At least they're doing something. In the place of worship, they are reading, they follow, something they're doing. How can you be very heavy? So there are stages. A first standard child we cannot be very heavy on them. When the
But
child
we
has
cannot even
grown,
coronate them, Mataji. We cannot even place a crown on them.
They're not
I don't know,
placing.
my heart actually breaks when I hear what all.
Because we have seen, we are not seeing them as a living entity. We are seeing according to our, they are Hindus, they are Muslims. Prabhupada is talking for everyone. And Prabhupada writes or impersonalists, he is talking for everyone, everybody. There are some religions who are doing a lot of austerity, but they have the impersonal concept about Lord. It is not just for Hindus, it is for everyone. When they do a lot of austerity, yes, they attain liberation. It's not Indian Hindu,
I'm sorry,
Indian
Mataji, I'm
impersonalists.
interrupting. I'm not against anybody for that matter. It's not that I'm against anybody. It's just that somewhere I feel that there is a spirit of acceptance within Bharatvash. Maybe this is the effect of the land that one is born in. We see a lot of coexistence and lot of acceptance of others. But when it comes to other things, still it pains my heart when I see that, okay, they have taken and placed Laddu Gopal in the steps of their mosque and demolished so many. There's no concept of jihad in this country, but yet if we call them, they are
I'll send you an
Shaktave,
article.
Shaktar.
I'll send you an article where a lady speaks, and she's a Muslim lady. She speaks. It's the wrong thing. See, what they're doing, they're atheists, simple. It's not that all Muslims are atheists. It's not that all Christians are atheists. Everyone is not atheist.
I'm not saying they're atheists,
But they are doing
like,
wrong. There are some Muslims who did wrong. Many
most
Muslims,
of them,
most of them have done wrong. And most of them are good also.
very few.
Sufis, they have written songs for Lord.
No,
There
even
are
I
people-
know of few Muslims who are pure vegetarian, not even taking onion and garlic. They have respect. But I must say they are very, very few. Very few. I can count them on my fingers. But if we are not able to respect another human being, be it a Hindu or anybody, then
Yeah.
we don't deserve to be called a proper human being. We should have mutual respect and mutual love for each other. At least that is the basic quality
Yeah.
of being called a human being.
But demon cannot have. And there
Yes,
are demons in Hindus also.
yes, I agree to that.
So it is not Hindu or Muslim or Jain or Sikh. We are talking about, the Bhagavatam is not talking about Dharma Projita Kaita Votra Paramo. Dharma
Yes.
projita, first give up. Give up this sense of religion first. Come out of all these things first. Because pure devotional service is not restricted to any religion.
Yes.
There are rascals in every religion, so-called religion. And there are pious people in the so-called religion. But we are not interested in pious people also. We are interested in only pure devotional service.
Yes.
That is why pure devotional service has no bounds. You don't have any secular bound for it. It crosses, there is no boundary. It can go anywhere. Like Prabhupada took the pure devotional service to Brahmanis, where people accepted. And which people accepted? Those who are not even coming in the category of Shudras, Mlechas. But here so-called Brahmanas were going against. I'll tell you. We have a small Gurukul setup. 4 children were admitted by one of the Mataji. Her 2 child, they are coming from good background. And her 2 maid servants' children. Maid servants' children adjusted. They are doing pure devotional service, chanting and everything. These 2 children were interested in eating all and seeing TV. So pure devotional service is not restricted to any of the caste. That you know that.
Yes.
So whoever Krishna has bestowed mercy, it is going to happen. There's a Prabhupada took. Prabhupada was fed up in Jhansi League. If you read Jhansi League, giving the knowledge to our own people, what happened? They have so much, then blank slate, right? Brought them. So naturally, Prabhupada will be favorable for those people who accepted the teachings of the Acharyas as it is. Here, so many of if and but and that and this. Prabhupada is teaching pure devotional service and they are talking about all Vedas. But Vedas speak about talking pure devotional service. So Acharyas are, yes, they sometimes it is, see, when we read about Srila Prabhupada's answers and all, it is that time it is relative. It is not a general instruction. You tell a contextual, what you say.
Yeah.
At that time it is. At that time. But that is not given in the book. When the book is written, translation is written, it is general. One to word to word. But nowadays what is happening is taking Prabhupada's some answers. People have formed a group. Oh, he answered like this. That time it was for that context.
I think this is a very important point you are making.
That is for that context was. Like the situations come. At that time you have to speak something which is relating to that situation. But that is not a general instruction. So nowadays, the disciples and all disciples, grand disciples, everybody are taking Prabhupada's answers to be everything. And then there is a fight. FDG or no FDG? So Prabhupada, when he sees his female disciples doing very nice, wonderful tasks, contextual. Okay, they can be the gurus. But that is not given in the scriptures. Prabhupada has not told that. But then fighting for that. It is happening. Yeah, this is just one example I told. In everything is happening like this. That is why answers, perfect questions, perfect answers, that was all. Take out the essence of it first. Viruddha samanyam tasminna chitram. I always understand this thing. Sometimes 2 contradictory statements are given even in the Vedas. How to harmonize both the contradictory statements, that has to be learned. The Lord has no form. It is given in the Vedas. Lord has a form given in the Vedas. Acharyas are ones who knows how to harmonize both. In the same way, pure devotees are ones who knows how to harmonize these any 2 contradictory statements of Srila Prabhupada. They should know how to harmonize, not fight among themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, madam. Thank you.